Welcome in, everybody. How's it going?
Hello.
Hello, sir. Looks like we have a good group in here. I'm excited to chat today. I did a little bit of just background research to kind of pull some stats that really just show what we've all been seeing, at least those of us that own real estate media companies. So excited to chat a little bit about that today. If you already have some real estate media market related questions, drop those into the chat and we'll just kind of weave those into the conversation today. But before we jump too much into that, share some wins, something good that happened in your business in the last week, the last month. Maybe you're, hitting a record month last month or having a good year so far. We always like to start with those. And
Marvin's throwing out the Justin Cyrus special right there. I love that, Marvin. How you doing, Marvin? Thank you again for that hat you gave Eli and I at the event. I haven't forgot that. I think about that every day. I hope you know.
We got to wait for some wins.
We got one win right here.
Fuel to start the call. On a serious note, though, I think the cool thing about real estate media, and many of you that are already in this business or have been, especially for 5+ years, you've seen that this business is fairly resistant to what's going on in the real estate market. And so a mistake that a lot of people make when they're sort of analyzing the real estate media business, especially when they're thinking about getting started, is they'll just look up real estate market stats. And they'll think, which makes sense, that our business is greatly affected by the real estate market. But the things that a real estate agent would look at are not the things that really matter to our business. And sometimes the things that are good for real estate agents are bad for us, and the things that are bad for real estate agents are good for us. Here's an example of one of those that I think is really interesting, which is days on market. So how long a house sits from the time it's listed until the day it closes. And that's a stat that is a very commonly measured stat across the states, in any country, and locally as well. You'll see local market stats for days on market, or DOM. You'll see it listed as a lot of time. And the longer days on market are, typically the less real estate agents like that, right? Because they want to list a house and they want to sell it the next day. Like, that's the ideal situation, right? And so the longer that gets, the worse that is from a real estate agent's perspective. And so if you talk to a real estate agent, especially if you're thinking about getting into the business, you're like, how's the market? They're going to be like, oh, it's terrible. It used to be way faster and now homes are sitting forever. And you're like, wow, I don't want to be involved in that. But it's like, as real estate media companies, we get paid when the home lists, not when the home sells. And so for us, it really doesn't matter how long the home's sitting. But something that's really interesting is it's actually better for us. And this is my initial point that I was making, which sometimes what's good for them is not good for us, and the opposite. It's actually better for us when a home sits on the market. And the reason for that is when a home sits on the market, it means that it's a buyer's market, which means buyers are the one coming from a position of negotiating power. They have the power, the buyers. There's all these homes, they've been sitting a while, they can make more aggressive offers, they have more to choose from because there's stuff sitting on the market. That's what a buyer's market is, right? And so how does a real estate agent position a home to help sell it in a market where buyers have the power? Well, they do better marketing, right? They have more media created for the home, and they do stuff that's unrelated to us too, but we benefit from the more media. And so, the days of, especially a couple of years ago, throw up 4 photos and the house sells are mostly over. And so they're, investing in photos, they're investing in video, they're investing in more services. And so for us, that makes our average order value go up. And that's just one example of how we are really disconnected from the real estate market in general. The other thing that's really interesting, and I asked, when I first got into doing real estate media, like, I think this is a new business owner concern in any business, but I had it, which was like, man, what happens if the real estate market crashes? I'd put in this effort, and I had what I thought was a really big business at the time. I was doing a few $1,000s a month, and I was like, man, I don't want to lose this, right? And so I started thinking, like, what happens if 2008 thing comes around? What does that look like? And so I would ask agents when I was at shoots, like, what was their experience in 2008? What happened? And I asked my best client, and I'll never forget her answer. And it is when I first started to realize, like, okay, there's a couple ways to look at this, right? So here's what she said. I was like, her name's Ann. I said, Ann, what it looked like? And she goes, well, I had my best year ever. I was like, wait a second, how did you have your best year ever in the midst of like a real estate crash, like a market crash that was started by real estate? Like, how did that even possibly happen? And she was like, what happened, Eli, was really crazy. there was, and I forget the exact numbers, but I'll just make up numbers for the illustration point of it. She's like, there was 1,000 agents in our market in 2007. And then 2008 hit, and there was 300 agents who stayed in the business. The rest left because they were just the agents there when it was easy. They'd make some commission. They weren't the professional agents. So it went from maybe the amount of listings that were selling dropped, but there was a lot of listings on the market in 2008, but also the pool of agents selling them dropped. So she had her best year ever, not because the market was good or bad, it was bad, but because more people had to list with her. And so, yeah, sure, less houses sold, but she had more listings, so she got more sales. And so here's the interesting thing for us as real estate media companies. The agents who provide the most value to our highest value clients are those 300 agents that are remaining. And so sometimes when the market gets tough and real estate agents leave, the listings then concentrate in a smaller pool of real estate agents, and those are the pool that hire us. It's the agents who sell one listing a year that don't really hire a photographer, right? So if they have to leave because they're having a harder time selling it, it benefits us. And so I just thought that was an interesting perspective that kind of took away that fear. I'm like, okay, like we have to look at this a little deeper than just how's the real estate media market doing and what happens in a crash. And I thought that was really interesting. So hopefully that was interesting to somebody else besides me. Rod looks just enthralled in that.
That was the exact word I was going to use. How'd you know? That's exactly what I was saying. I was very enthralled the entire time. But no, it's if you talk about numbers, I'm gonna be enthralled. Absolutely. So, but look at this win from
I missed something.
Is that
my highest earning month last month? I'm on track for my first 10K. Congrats. That's a big one. The 10K month is like the first big milestone that's really fun to hit. So the good news is you're about to hit it. The bad news is the second you hit it, it resets to 25K is the next goal.
Yeah. You're behind already. Come on. No, congrats.
Congrats.
What I had there first, I want to showcase. Got my first client today, an architect interior design company. Their previous photographer moved to Bangkok. So interesting. You just never know.
Yeah.
They could, their photographer could move to Bangkok. So
I mean, seriously, that's true. Like I think a lot of people when they look at the market, they assume that every client they get is a client that they had to take and outcompete another real estate media business to get. And it's like, sure, sometimes that's the case, right? But like there's photographers retiring, moving markets, moving to Bangkok, right? Like there's all this stuff going on. And so I think it's just easy to think from the outside that real estate media is more competitive than it actually is. And it's one of the stats I had is just kind of funny. Let me see if I can find it.
While you're finding that, Jonathan on the team is in here.
What's going on, Jonathan?
Hey, Jonathan.
Hello, sir.
And then look, Isaac is in here too. I'll got a shout. He's got that fancy wrench.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know. Is he an engineer or something? I don't get it. But good job.
It's like I wonder if he's an admin on our YouTube. No, I don't know.
He has a fancier name than we do on here, so that's fine.
Maybe just put a wrench icon. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Did we catch up on questions here? Anyway, if you have a question about the market, drop it in the chat. And this is a good one. All right. Tim said I'm on the Gulf Coast and was doing well for a while, and then it just completely flattened. Yeah, give me a little more info, Tim, on kind of what your business was doing. I mean, as much as you're wanting to share on a live Q&A, what was your revenue? When did that change? Give me some info on that, and I can talk through what may have happened. We're moving into the busier time of year, and so if it completely flattened, well, I can't even really say anything without knowing more. How long of a period has it been flat for? It's really funny, and I'm not saying this is what's happening to you, and what's happening to you is not funny either, but this is a funny thing that we noticed that happened to me, and I see it in our coaching students all the time. And there's one really specific scenario. So we were working with this lady who built a great real estate media business, and there's a chance she's in here too, which would make the story even funnier, but I won't say any names. So she had probably the slowest week she'd had in her business's history, like since she started getting momentum. And she came to a call, and this is week one, right? She came to a call, and she goes, not week one in coaching, just like this is week one of my story. So she comes to this call, and she goes, I just don't know what happened. Like it completely dove. And she was like, I was about to hire somebody. I think I'm going to put the job, like rescind the job offer. I'm thinking about getting rid of my VA. She was in full, I got to cut expenses, cut everything. I don't know what happened, right? And so we're like, wait a second, like it's 1 week, just let's see how it goes next week. The very next week, she comes back to the call again, same level of like, we got to do something. But this time it was, I don't know what happened. I'm so freaking busy right now. I think I need to hire more people. I obviously didn't cancel that job offer I had out there. I need to hire more people. And then the same advice, right? Is like, okay, let's see what happens another week later. And then next week was a normal week again, what she'd seen in the past. And so if you looked at those last 2 weeks, what really happened is just law of averages, right? It's like 1 week was small and 1 week was huge. And both of those made that business owner really likely to go, oh, shoot, I need to make a change. And so there's a bigger discussion here, but like the point that I want to make is what you're experiencing in your business now is what you project as recency effect, right? Or recency bias. That's what you project the whole future being. So your business is slow, you predict the future being slow, and you make decisions based upon that. If your business is fast, you do the same thing. And so the best way you can not like the worst decisions I've ever made were because I was too zoomed in. I was looking at a week or a month. So anytime I'm like, oh, we need to do something, the first thing I always try to get myself to do is like zoom out and go like, let's look at more data. Because if you looked at this person's data, it was like every other week before that was fairly consistent. It was just this last bit. And so think about that, as you're moving through your business, and don't let it lead you astray. I guess back to the question here though, Tim followed up, went quiet around end of November 2025, was doing $4.5 grand a month, but growing well, then just bombed. So I had to get another job, and I'm missing shooting so much. Consistency was also an issue. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of that's seasonal, Tim. You went into slow season with, and this is not, I'm not putting you down by saying this, but you went into slow season with a pretty small business. And, if your business is doing less than, anything around 6 to 8K a month, you can sometimes have like no shoots in December. It just depends on how fast your growth rate was going into December. And so that's pretty normal. Then my guess what happened is after that point, you probably backed off on doing the things that would really get you busy again this time of year. So staying in contact with your clients, doing Instagram outreach. What were you going to say, Rod?
Exactly what you're saying now is that a lot of times we'll hear, and it might not be the case here, Tim, but a lot of times it's when you get a little bit busier, you don't do as much client acquisition because everything feels great. And then it gets slow again. Right. And it's just that roller coaster of being slow, being busy. And it's just what the common trend is that client acquisition, kind of went up and down a little bit too. And it's just kind of reflecting that. So like things you do now are reflected in the future. And just like Eli's saying, making decisions based upon things being slow forever could also create that roller coaster too. So it's fun. It's what makes business
like a pipeline,
fun.
Right? And the thing, Tim, and this is, there's not like there's a silver lining in this, but there's also like not right now. But the silver lining is once you get enough momentum, which is a little bit past where you were at, you don't have to worry as much about keeping the pipeline filled on one end to get results out the other. Like you'll get enough momentum where agents are talking about your business, you're doing shoots all the time, you're in the business. And so you kind of have to, it's just brute force up until that point. But here's the good news. My guess is even if you don't do anything, you're going to have people start calling you now and in the very near future as the market ramps back up, right? Now, don't rely on that and wait. Put the effort in, like do what you did to get you to 4.5K in the first place. Just compress it. So really it's going to be, you already know how to shoot. If you got to that level of revenue, client acquisition, work the phones, Instagram method, call your past clients. Like you can change your business in a week because you already had some momentum. And so that's kind of the fork you're at is like, which route do you want to go? And I would just hit it. I know you have another job and you have, there's only so much you can do in a day, but like hit that hard because you can, it's like, you have a fire that kind of goes down. You have that little ember still. It's way easier to start the fire the second time. That's where you're at, but don't let that little thing go out, pick up the phones and do work right now.
All right. Real quick 10-second shout out break. Darlene. How you doing, Darlene? It's always good to see your name. I see you crushing it. I see your wins lately in the wins channel. Don't think I don't stalk those. Brad. What's up, Brad? We got Tyler. Come on, Tyler. What's up? We got Mundle, aka Nicole. Mundle, aka Nicole.
See any of these comments?
Well, because there's a lot of good comments right now. That's what's fun right now. Okay, just had to do some shout outs right now. Okay, this is a great question. Goodness gracious, this is a great question. New to this, is it possible to work 2 markets? I travel summers in Wyoming, winters in Florida, in various locations in Florida. That sounds like a nice setup you got right there. I'm kind of jealous. You don't happen to be a goose. I'm just kidding. That was a dad joke.
Yeah, so that was a dad
I
joke.
couldn't.
I'll
I don't. I just
give it to you.
had to say. I had to ask. I'm sorry. Okay.
So it's possible. I don't recommend it. What I would do in your scenario, and it does make it a little bit more challenging since you're traveling into various locations in Florida. Um, it is going to be very hard, and I don't want to sugarcoat it and lead you astray. It's going to be very hard to do two markets at once with gaps in between because agents are going to want to use you year round, and if you're not available year round, they're going to find somebody else. So how I would look at this is I would pick whatever region you're going to be spending physically the most amount of time in every year. Obviously, if you were in one spot in Florida and one spot in Wyoming, you'd pick Florida because the winter is longer than the summer. And so you're going to be there physically more. And I think that's probably a better market, depending on where you are in Wyoming, how remote you are. So, absent that, you just have to pick wherever you are the most amount of time and start the business there. And then the goal would be to find somebody that can cover those shoots, whether it's an employee or another business while you're gone, and you just make a little bit of that revenue instead of the full amount that you would make when you're shooting it. And that allows you to keep your business going and kind of work remotely while you're gone. You'd be delivering the photos, doing client acquisition, that kind of stuff. And so it's possible to build a business doing this. I mean, people have built businesses that don't live in the market they built the business in. Is it harder? Absolutely. If that's the life you have and you want this business, you got to make it work either way. So whether it's hard or easier is irrelevant. It's the only way, right? So that's how I would think about it. But possible, just got to
Definitely
work.
possible. We just saw someone move forward with Engine, which is one of our programs here. That it lives in California and is growing his market in Atlanta, and that's what he needs our help with, is helping grow that market in Atlanta. And I thought that's pretty cool. So definitely can do it. But like Eli said, it's going to be tough. But if your goal is big enough and you want to do it, it'll be worth it for sure. So great question. Great question. Come on now. Oh, wait, hold on. Ryan and Jonathan got a shout out. We got to put it up here. Shout out Jonathan and Ryan. Come on, there we go. I don't know what for.
Where are you finding that? I feel like
I don't
I'm
know
only
what
seeing
for.
like part of the questions.
I have secret comments here where me and them have a secret thread that we don't show you, so we can talk. Sometimes it's funny jokes about. I mean, that's why I laugh randomly. We don't want you to see it. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, great question, Amanda. Come on. Okay. When you're just starting off and don't have yet the ability to do video and drone and night work, how do you even get to a $2 to $4 grand month? Great question.
Yeah. I mean, it's harder, Amanda, but breaking down the math, I'll just kind of show you. So let's say and I guess my question would be, I think thinking about the 2 to 4K a month mark before you have those other services, it's definitely possible. But how I would look at it is any shoots you start doing at the start, getting a drone and getting your drone license, you can do all that for under $1,000. So you only need a few photo shoots to pay for that. And so I wouldn't say, how can I get to 4K a month without this? I would say, like, how can I get the money to get that drone as fast as possible? Because it's going to make it easier. Now, you could absolutely do it without that. Let's just do $4,000 a month. I'll show you how many shoots it'd be. So $4,000 a month. And if it's only photos, you're probably going to get like $175 average. Was that?
I wonder if there's some other add-ons you can maybe add in, but let's do an example, bare bones.
Do worst case scenario, like 175 just photos. I mean, that's 22 and 23, let's call it, shoots per month. So it's like one shoot a day. Yeah. Yeah. Or you can do, 4 on every Saturday. It's not going to perfectly schedule like that, but you get the point. So it's doable. But like Rod said, with just your phone, you can offer vertical, like social media reels. You could even do horizontal videos with an $80 stabilizer, depending on what phone you have. So you could totally do that. You can do floor plans with just your phone. You could do Matterport tours with just your phone. It just takes longer. So like a lot of those add-ons you can still do. Really, the only thing you wouldn't be able to do is drone. I mean, night work, I don't know if that's a schedule thing, but if you're talking about like twilight photos, you can do those with just your regular camera. You can shoot twilight video on your iPhone. So like the only thing you really wouldn't be able to offer from like a cost of gear standpoint is drone. Because you can't really throw your phone up and get photos, You
can. It's just hard.
Yeah. So some have done it. What's funny is before drones were out, like before they existed, at least in a way that, wasn't just government that had them. People, I would say because I used one at one point. I caught the tail end of it. Would be just a pole with a camera on the end. And you could only get up like, 30 feet or whatever. And that was a stretch. But Yeah. Anyway.
So, but no, I love what you said. You do a photo. So Amanda, you do photos for 175 each. You do 22 per month, one per business day. You're at a $4,000 revenue month. So, as
Yeah.
far as reverse engineering what that would look like. And then once you put in add-ons, it just goes up from there. And obviously as depends on your goals, you can take it further than that if you wanted to as well. So got some good questions. Let me get a second over here because there are some good questions. And on the topic of what Amanda asked, Warner asked, I'm still studying for my part 107. I'm skeptical to start with just photos and video. My mindset is I want to be able to offer all these services that the agents want and need.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, your mindset is right. Like I would, in your shoes, my goal would be to be able to do that as fast as possible. I don't think not starting your business until you offer those is the right move. There are plenty of agents who will just order photos and video, and so it's like, why wait? Would be my take. I think you're putting yourself behind by doing that. I'd rather you start getting clients, start getting paid shoots, learning the business, getting your system set up, and then you can add on those things. And then once you add them on, you have clients to announce it to, right?
It's a follow-up tactic at that point, like y'all say.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. If you're willing to just accept a mindset switch, Tim, switch it. Just get started, and that'll just be the faster path.
That reminds me of I think Ruby, who started with just borrowed camera, started with that and just worked up, and then has posted wins recently over $20,000 months. So it's like, yeah.
I mean, that's a
great question.
Not to take away from Ruby's success, but like that's a common thing. I mean, Ruby just took it extra far with the borrowed camera, and but it's very common for people to not have everything from day one. I would say it's actually uncommon for them to have everything from day one. Just because it's like, the way I look at it too is if you're in that just starting stage, especially if money is the thing holding you back from offering all those services, which I know in your case, you're still studying. I actually want to bring up that in a second, but if money's holding you back, it's like, I think the best way to do this is to let your clients buy that future gear for you. So it's like, if you need a drone, do shoots with the gear you have to get money to buy the drone. Don't go find money on, you know what I mean? It's like, find the money from the easiest source, which is your clients. One thing I did want to say on that part 107, do not overstudy for that thing. From zero experience to passing the test can be 48 hours. And I'm not saying like 48 hours, bloodshot eyes, up all night, like 2 days of a reasonable amount of work. You can do that all really, really fast. And so don't push that out. If I was you, and what we do with our team members at Norman & Young when they start is that's the first thing they do. And a lot of them are able to get it done in a few days. And so just set a deadline. It's Thursday right now. Maybe you make a deal with yourself to pass or to take the test on Monday. And it's like, now you got 4 days, like you're going to be ready. And so I think, I heard this from somebody, and I've always kind of approached my business this way too. The difference between people who are successful in their business and the people who aren't is not the work that's done. It's how long it takes them to get that work done in most cases. So it's like, if you're here and there's a certain amount of things you have to do to get here, you can choose to do them in this amount of time, in this amount of time, in this amount of time. And the people who do it, get the most success, they compress it. It's like, you can wait on stuff, but you can also be like, I mean, you could probably I'm not trying to gang up on you or anything here and just beat you down, but it's just a good thing that a lot of people go through. You could totally pass that test tomorrow. Like, it's 4:30 in Central Time right now, right? You still got tonight. Maybe you have plans. You still got tomorrow. Again, maybe you have plans, but like, you have enough time to actually pass this. And yeah, someone just said this, the art of procrastination. Procrastination is a superpower when you know how to leverage it, right? If you just say, I'll do that in the future, bad procrastination. But every procrastinator, which is almost all of us, we know that when we get up near that deadline, it's like super levels of efficiency. And so you can fake that feeling by setting the deadline. So if I was actually in your shoes, like I would, and again, I'm not in your shoes and I don't know your situation, but if I had to restart my business today, I would be like so aggressive with my timelines to get stuff done. Again, taking all my knowledge, speed is the only thing that really matters. So it's like, I would be trying to take that test tomorrow. I'd be trying to get clients the next day. I'd try to be lining up shoots for this weekend. I'd have to get some money coming in, And so you don't have to approach it with that level of insanity, but like between there and what the average person does, somewhere in the middle is probably the good sweet spot. And I just think speed beats everything. And it's just one of those common themes. Like, you hear every successful business owner talk about speed. And so you can just, yeah, I mean, money loves speed. We've, that's a quote that has been said a lot and I agree with. It's just like, and here's the thing, speed is a lot easier than being smart. Like I mean, maybe you can improve your smarts, right? You can learn things, but like, you're kind of like born with a certain level of just raw intellectual power, right? Maybe that's not true, but it seems like it is. It's like, well, given that, what can you do to make yourself more successful and just do more stuff, And so I always try to take that approach. Rod, you probably have a question up in there, something.
Man, I got many loaded up here, ready to go. We got one from old Todd Dobbs here, wondering what's the best bang for the buck on new client acquisition.
Yeah, good question. I like how you framed it as the best bang for your buck because a lot of people just try to do a little bit of everything, and it's like I'd rather just figure out what the best thing is and just do that. And so it depends on your willingness. If you're willing to cold call, absolutely the best bang for your buck. It's free, it's fast, you get results immediately, you get answers immediately. It's not waiting, but it sucks. And a lot of people don't like doing it. And I understand that. That's why we literally launched REPP Engine, because so many people didn't want to cold call and it works so well. We're like, well, we'll just build a team of people who cold call for people. So you can do that for yourself. You don't have to use REPP Engine. Cold calling is at the top of the list. The Instagram method is the proven workhorse that is one of our core methods we teach in coaching. Many people, the people you've seen in the case studies on here, they use that. It's a little slower than cold calling in terms of getting results and feeling momentum from it, but it works really well and it's easy. It's just boring. It's just basically sending real estate agents messages on Instagram, very specifically crafted messages, offering a free first shoot. There's a certain, things you got to do prior to the message itself. There's some follow-up things you do, but ultimately you're just reaching out and offering free first shoots. If it sounds like I'm gatekeeping that a little bit, not giving away all the secrets, I am. We have to save some of the good stuff for our people in coaching, make sure we can get them the results we want. But ultimately, we figured out the Instagram method the hard way. And so if that's not the route you want to go, if you're not wanting to jump into coaching, you can absolutely do that and you'll learn and you'll figure out what works and what doesn't. And here's the secret of client acquisition. Doing it is what gets the results, right? And the reason for that is like, if you do it right, well, then do more of it, you get more results. If you're not doing it right, you'll learn, you'll tweak it, and then you'll figure out what does work. And so I think a lot of business owners go too internally and they start working on stuff in the business, their photos, their videos, how they're shooting, their website, their order form, all this stuff. And it's like, dude, you could have the best, all of that. And if nobody knows who you are, you don't have any clients. Best, thanks, Aaron. Yeah, I'll grab that in just a second. The best known photographer is the one that makes the most money, really is what it boils down to. It's not the best photographer, it's the best known. And I don't mean famous. You just got to be locally known among the people you want as clients, which is real estate agents, and they're easy to find, which is great. Okay, Aaron on the team said, Eli, some context Ty might tell you he's actually having some great success with Instagram and Facebook ads. What are your thoughts on that going forward with him? Yeah, Meta ads generally can be great. It depends on your cost per lead. The thing with ads is you have to spend money, and then you still have to do something when you get that lead that involves time. With Instagram method and with cold calling, there's no money involved. There's just time. We do both at Norman & Young. Facebook ads are a little harder to scale because there's only so many real estate agents in every market. And so it's not like you can get consistent clients with Meta ads. You just can't get 100 clients in a week like you technically could with cold calling if you were an animal, and you cold call.
Oh, well, that's a little awkward. Well, maybe his computer died, but he's coming back in. I was about to cover for you beautifully. All right, fine. We'll let you keep going on it.
My throat already hurts. I've been yapping too much. What were you saying?
What were you saying?
I don't.
You are on some gold right there. Did you just like go in like a time warp? Did I just go in a time warp or something?
No, it's that thing where sometimes when I'm just looking at the leave button, it like clicks it with my eyes somehow. I don't know.
You're like, I'm out of here. I'm sleepy. No.
Yeah, Ty, that's kind of what I was talking about. It's like, it's just not, Instagram method is even like this somewhat, but at least Instagram method, you can like push it more because you're just reaching out to realtors. Ads are kind of like waiting. I mean, of course you can increase budget, but usually cost per result just goes up at the same, rate. Those are like farming. You got to plant the seed, you got to wait. And it doesn't mean it's not like legit farming where it's like you gotta wait 4 months. I'm not saying it takes that long, but it's not the same day usually. Cold calling is much more like you're hunting. Like you can go out until you get a deer, and that's what a lot of people like about it. But I understand not wanting to do it because cold call, like no, well, some people do actually enjoy it and they're good at it. I think you just develop a enjoyment for it after enough time. But most people don't love the idea of that. To be fully transparent, I created the Instagram method or figured it out for my business because I was unwilling to cold call when I first started my business. I was just like, if that's what it takes to make money, I'm out. Like I hated the idea of that. I was a different guy than I am now. I mean, this is, I guess 13, 14 years ago. I've learned a couple things. I've stopped being as timid as I used to be, and I'm more willing to do what it takes. But back then it was just like, I'm not going to do this if that's what it takes. So I understand not doing it. And that's why we use the Instagram method, because both work, really well together. And I think it's good to have both because, like you could call, it's 4:30 right now, Central Time, 5:30 where I'm like, I could cold call right now, but like, a lot of people have work. And so if you're starting your real estate media business, most people have a job, right? Or if you already own a real estate media business, you're out shooting during the daytime. And so you get back and it's like, you can't really cold call at 11 p.m. unless you really want to like, go for the very bold approach. And plus it's not even legal in some cases. There's calling hours and different things you have to keep in mind. So anyway, that's why I like having multiple methods that are something you can push. And that's why the Instagram method, I think, will always have a place. Well, the Instagram method done right. A lot of people will hear me say that and just go blast a bunch of spam out there and not get any results. And they're like, oh, Eli
it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It's like, well, I told you we withheld some. Anyway. All right.
Let's see. There was a good question about,
well, I just want to shout out this while we're on cold calls. So Brad on our team is a coach and built an incredible real estate media business. So he does both. And yeah, I mean, like he's saying here, he got his business going fast with cold calls. And so, yeah, if you're willing to be Brad, you can grow really fast with cold calls.
Here's a great question. How long does it take to deliver videos usually? Are they delivered after the photos in a couple days?
Usually the next morning as well. Most people are still on the same next day turnaround.
That's for videos too?
Yeah. Video is pretty common. Maybe it's like later in the day, but I mean, same concept, right? Like you deliver it to your editor in the evening. They add like REPP video editing delivers the next morning.
I thought it was 48 hours. That's crazy. That's amazing.
No, the only thing it used to be, I think they just changed this. The only thing that used to be 48 hours was premium video with like a lot of effects and stuff. Gotcha. I believe that those are still 24 now. So
that's crazy. Okay. Well, that's shout out rep editing plug.
Yeah. RepEditing.com if you need a video editor.
RepEditing.com. Let me find it. Let me go as far as grabbing the actual hyperlink for the comments to just plug it even further. Okay, there we go.
Shout out to Mr. Kenny, who's done a great job building the REPP editing team.
Seriously, it ain't easy. That job ain't easy. Doing what he does.
This is a great example of what I was saying about the drone test. Like you can just rip it in one day if you needed to. So I know some people are better at testing than others, but I'm pretty sure whenever I heard people say in school they were bad at taking tests, they really just didn't study. And so it turns out if you just study, you'll pass it. You only got to get a 70 is the good news.
All right, let me find another question. And you might find one before.
Oh, there's a good one I found. Wait, where did it go? Or was it? Oh, no, I just wanted to say hi to Mr. Eric, who commented in here. Hope you're doing well, sir. Always good to hear from you. Eric is I can't say one of my favorites because I have a lot of students that I really like. But Eric, I got to say, you're up there on the list, sir. He, great guy, built a real estate media business, determined to not, really his big goal for the longest time was to quit his job at Costco. And he was able to do that recently.
Oh, that Eric. Okay.
Yeah, that Eric. Okay. There's some moments that I'll remember, Eric. You quitting Costco finally was like top of the list for me.
There was a video about that.
He sent a video to us. He posted on his Instagram. It was an exciting moment. And I think to pivot it over to something I think Eric did well. Everybody knew that he was trying to quit Costco. His clients knew that he was trying to quit Costco. Like that was like everybody wanted Eric to freaking be able to quit Costco. And so like people would refer Eric so he could get more clients, so he could quit. Like so many people when they start their real estate media company try to be like, we are the premier real estate media. Like, shut up, dude. Literally, you're new, and that's a benefit. Let people invest in your story, you know. And so I thought Eric did a really good job with that, and it's really cool to see that happen. And obviously, it's he had to put in the work. It's not easy. It's not just like, oh, he shared the story and his business blew up. Like he worked at it for a while. And
someone's like, I just need to go to Costco and tell people I want to leave it. That's the secret. I just got to get a Costco job and want to leave it. That's congrats on that, Eric. That's incredible.
Yeah. Werner said, do you think Fotello will replace Auto HDR and Spiro with their new scheduling and delivery options? I mean, I can't predict the future, but if I had to bet money, I would not bet money that would happen. I think, Auto HDR and Spiro integrate really well with each other already. So if the all-in-one thing is the argument why it's better, and they already kind of do that, I think individually, Auto HDR has a better product and Spiro has a better product. Everybody gets to make their own opinion on that, but I don't see that happening. I'm not saying what Fotello has built isn't great, but I don't think some will use that. Some will use Auto HDR and Spiro.
If y'all got questions, put them in the chat. If we didn't answer it earlier. Also, if you have like concerns, if you're like considering real estate media, you're considering coaching, you're wondering things about your market, you're wondering if it's for you, if, sometimes people have certain situations and they're kind of wondering how would they even make it work per the situation. Obviously, a lot of you have talked to our team and maybe they give you some creative ideas and so something like that too. So questions or even like concerns or worries that you guys might have per your market or your situation that makes you feel like anything in the comments that makes you feel like you couldn't hit a 5 or 10 grand month with our help, like put that stuff in the comments too, because we want to try to address all of that.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has a unique scenario, right? I think it's really easy to exclude yourself. It's easier to exclude yourself than tell yourself why you can do it, right? So it's like, you'll see whether it's someone we have on here in an interview or whatever, you're like, oh, they had this was hard, but they had this going for them and they had this going for them. And like everybody has something going for them and something going against them. And I think not to go too mindset-y, but like the people who are successful, they ask how they can do it, not what's going to stand in their way. It's like, okay, let's imagine you have, it's like, I think about it this way. So let's say we've worked with, about 1,000, a little over 1,000 people in coaching. So we've gotten to work with their businesses. We know about their business. Somebody actually had the 1,000th hardest time. Like they had the worst time out of everyone and they still were able to build a business. And so I always think about that. It's like, sure, there's some people that absolutely are going to have it easier than you. That's always the case. There are also people that are going to have it harder. And if anybody with a harder situation did it, it's possible for you. It's just more about getting in the frame of like, what would have to happen for me to do that? And sometimes that's making big changes. I mean, even once you get in your business, that doesn't go away, right? It's like the skill that allows you to build a business when it's hard because you don't yet have a business is the same skill that lets you take your business to the next level. And so, I think back, like I had these problems before I started my business. Once I started my business, there's these, big problems that we've had that required hard decisions, difficult decisions, firing people, changing models, losing big cuts. Like there's all these things that have happened. And it's just the growth that we've had and the growth that we see in a lot of our students is them just showing up anyway and going, okay, that's what business is just what's the problem? Let's solve it. And you become better at problem solving and you solve bigger problems. You get paid more money as you solve those bigger problems. But really, I think about it this way. If you're wanting to start your real estate media business and there is an obstacle between there's always going to be, right? Maybe it's a big one, maybe it's a small one. And there's an obstacle between you and starting that. Maybe you don't have enough money to get gear. Or maybe you really want to do coaching and you're trying to figure out how to make that work. Or maybe your schedule is really overbearing. Just consider that the first problem that you're solving in your business, right? That like, even if you don't have a business yet, consider yourself having a business because the problem that you're solving that allows you to start the business is the first problem you have to solve in the business. And I think that's just the mentality you have to stay in of like, it's like, oh man, I wish I could start my business. Like you did, like you're started. Everybody here has started. It's just like, what's the next step in the business, right? Maybe you need to make an LLC. Maybe you need to whatever. And so, I always love this quote, best time to start anything, right? Real estate photography business was 6 years ago.
Well said.
Second best time is right now.
Is that, hold on.
Yes, that is Rod. I know who you're talking about. They are indeed in coaching as
you just moved forward with coaching and you talked to Ryan, right? I know. Hold on. Everyone stop. Everyone pause.
These usernames really be throwing us off sometimes.
Everyone pause. Everyone stop. Idika, how do you say your name? What does your name rhyme with? And that'll give me an idea, because I feel like I'm going to say your name, but your last name, well, I don't want to say your first and last name. We know who you are. And congrats on jumping into coaching. We're very excited for you.
Yeah, we're excited to work with you.
Here's your name. This is your name. I was just like, I'm sorry.
I think
I got excited.
Probably they had their first coaching call today. I think I saw something about that. I don't know where I saw that. It could be just absolutely making that up.
Either way, be very wrong either way. But for some reason, your name. All right, here we go. Let's speed round. There's a lot of great questions here, and we can kind of go through this. Someone asked, "Are people still buying?" Last name rhymes with Pierquit. How do you say that? What does that word rhyme with? We go get this. Sorry, pardon my stupidity.
You have an opportunity to really mess with Rod here and just keep giving him really hard, like similar pronunciation names.
Oh, a lot. Thank you. All right, let me see here. It was a question about, are people still buying homes in this economy? I believe so.
Thankfully, they are. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's different in every market, but like, of course they are, right?
Haven't seen that be an issue even a little bit for our students back there, which is comforting. So
yeah, the market has slowed down. Depending on if you look, I think nationwide in the US at least like 10% from this time last year. But we talked about this at the start, which you may have missed if you weren't in here. That's actually good for real estate photographers when the market slows down, because agents typically order more if they have to position the house a little bit more competitively. So yeah, absolutely. You can jump on ChatGPT and ask about market stats in your area, but yeah, I mean, we're kind of insulated from the real estate market as real estate media companies. Like, if a realtor is not if realtors think the market is bad, it doesn't mean that it's bad for real estate photographers, because we just make money differently than they do.
Warner got on the topic of market. I'm struggling pricing my market. I have a small media companies and large media companies in my area. Pricing is extremely varied. I created a spreadsheet and averaged it all.
Yeah, not a bad way to do it.
Not a bad start, at least, and then go from there.
Yeah, be a good start. Generally, the larger companies are probably the ones you're going to want to more model their pricing, unless they're like those big photo mills where they have like 100 locations. You can't tell how successful they are, but if you have a big local company that's successful and their only presence is locally, what they're doing is working. So that's a good bottle or baseline to go with. And so that's how I look at it.
I totally mixed up who that is.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I totally did.
That's all right.
I tried my hardest.
Jeremy is awesome.
So that'd be Jared Ford. So, okay. I totally got it mixed up with somebody else. That's why I was like, that's not the last name I was thinking of.
I got to tell you a funny story about Jeremy. So Jeremy, I've like last year I've been into running, right? And Jeremy has run a lot of ultra marathons. I mean, he's like, I'm not a runner compared to him. So we were it was a yacht mastermind we did with Forward Group last year. And he was like, yeah, how many miles a week are you running? And I was like, 15. Like, I thought that was like a pretty decent amount. And he was like, oh, and you could just tell in his face. He was like, Eli, come on now. You got to amp up those miles. So anyway, this is amazing. Oh, let's see. Considering getting into the business, is it too late to start in 2026 in May? No, I mean, you got to start whenever. I guess I would just challenge you on why not start right now, even if it's just taking little steps, but you can start any time of year. There's benefits and drawbacks to starting at any time, but I really believe that, like, if you want to start a real estate media business, you just start it now. It's like never, you don't time it around the market. I understand people have to like move and have different stuff going on, but like, you really just want to go when you have the desire to start one. Let's see. Oh, you are moving. Yeah. So I'm going to, Stefan, not to, challenge you too much, but like, start doing stuff now. We have had so many people that we've worked with that are moving in a couple months that lay the groundwork ahead of time. I mean, you can do all the practice you need to be confident in photos, videos, and 3D tours. You can set up your order form and all your software. You can make sure editors are all in place, make sure your business is set up, and you can start doing client outreach. And if you get clients before you're there, you have got a couple options. You can fly real quick and do the shoot, do a couple shoots while you're there, or find someone locally that you can contract the work to, but you can get that momentum rolling. That way, when you actually get there, you're not like, well, now what? And it's like, I think there's this image of starting a business where it's like you do this and you launch and you cut the ribbon and the clients flood in. That's not how it works. And so I would start now laying the groundwork. And I'm more using your comment just for a broader point that I think we see a lot of people do, which is like, I'm waiting until blank. And it's like, understood completely. There are definitely things you can do between then and now, even if it's just a little things. It can give you a big head start.
A lot of times people will see that jump in back there. And we'll have shoots lined up by the time they move and have a busy schedule by the time they move. There's ways to really do it right like that, you know. Have you talked to Stefan? Have you talked to anybody on our team about things? Megan, you literally, as I asked that, you're like said it at the same time. You're psychic. No one, you did tell me you're a psychic. Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, I have an idea about that. I'll reach out to Megan about that. So good to know. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
All right, we got time for two more.
Two
Mr.
more?
Rod.
What? Someone had
two more.
Isaac Castillo's got a question we can't not answer. Let's go. But how do you delete tasks to admins, or how do you delegate tasks to admins? I will be passing tasks to my wife as an admin while we are growing so fast. Very nice. Then in the future, hiring an admin other than her.
Yeah, I mean, there's a framework I'm trying to remember that I like. There's like a rhymey quote that works, but I don't remember it. So it's basically like you have your wife in this case watch you do it once, then she does it with your supervision, and then she does it on her own. Ultimately a lot of Loom videos. Anytime, really what it is like in a small business, people try to make all these like SOPs and processes and training manuals. That's all such a waste of time because things are moving so fast. Like in my opinion, the best way to do it is just training by osmosis. Just work with them and show them what you're doing. And then, as they start to get more confident, let them do their thing and be there and available for questions. But really, you just start letting them do things. And it's a little stressful because this is just generally, she probably knows more about your business than just a random new hire. And is not only that, is going to care a lot more about it. So that's the easiest delegation you can do. But yeah, I mean, just let her do tasks and be there to support with any questions she has. And, excited that you guys can work together in that capacity. Let's see. This might be a weird question. Is coaching eligible as a tax write-off? Yeah, I mean, I've never seen a CPA tell someone they can't write off coaching.
Whoa, take it easy, dude. Can we say that?
Yeah.
Hold on.
It is
contact the police.
Qualified business expense.
Oh, this person said it, so I could click that.
Yeah, you can write it off. Yeah, and as far as how
I'm not
much
trying to give tax advice, but we've never not seen someone not.
Listen, I'll give tax advice.
I'd be shocked.
I'll give tax advice in that scenario. You can write it off in your coaching, and if your CPA doesn't let you, tell him to call me personally, and I'll have a chat. With
call
him.
Another CPA. Figure out. Call the next person.
Yeah.
Find 3 people and pick the best one that says you can.
How much is your coaching? So it depends. It depends on a couple of things: how long you work with us, what program you're in, and then what services you bundle with it. And that's why we don't just have a sales page where you can just join coaching. We have a call that you can get on with our team. Rod, can you hear just a horrendous amount of drilling in my background noise?
I thought that was your stuff. I thought you were hungry or something. I didn't know what the heck that was. I was like,
the roof is being redone on my house, and they have this. They're cutting, I guess, which I didn't know was involved with roof.
But it's not too bad. It's kind of subtle. It's nice.
Good. So yeah, if you want to learn more about coaching, and a couple things go into it, right? Is we'll customize what that looks like for you. Go to this link, replaunch.com/apply. That's outrageously loud. Do you guys hear that?
I mean, a tiny bit, but not enough. Not as much as you think. I
can't even hear myself thinking with that level of noise.
You could do this, dude.
I'm going to power through. But anyway, go to replaunch.com/apply. Rod, you got to stop laughing is the thing, because now I can't power through. Good Lord, that's loud. Oh, anyway, yeah, if you go to replaunch.com/apply, you can chat with our team. They'll be able to go through like what's included in coaching, but also what you need for your market, and make sure that what we can help you with is something that is going to align. We look at your schedule, how much time you have, what it's going to look like to be in coaching, the time commitment. We look at your market, make sure there's enough people in your area and some of those things. So go to replaunch.com/apply. And just a warning, I think every time we say that, people are like, well, they just want to get me on this high pressure sales call. That is not how we do things here at Rep at all. I hate that, like personally.
Eli doesn't allow us to do that, yo. So.
Yeah. And don't get excited. If that was like, it just doesn't work either. It's not a good business move. And so they'll chat with you. If you've chatted with someone on our team, drop your experience in the chat. They're there to support you. Even if coaching's not the right move, the call's more about just clarity. Like, what is it going to look like? And, is that the right move for you? And it's just not a, like, you got to do this now. There's not like, you got to buy right this second. That's just not how we do it. Starting a business is a big decision. And, if you already have a business, who you get coached by and who you're modeling your business after is a big decision. So we want to be able to give you that info. So replunch.com/apply.
Yeah, it's driving me crazy. Is that Nate? Is this Nate?
If it's,
is that, wait, what is your first name?
If it's Nate, it's a different someone than I thought it was. Now I'm confused.
I'm so sorry. we do memorize names in everyone's YouTube handles. It is getting tough. I'm learning whether that's the age or the amount. But now I feel like I've just disrespected you this entire evening.
Hold on,
LK Tommy 89.
This is amazing. Ty said sales call today with Aaron was smooth. It messed up my entire day now because I can't shake the temptation to jump in. Well,
sorry.
Whether you jump in today or tomorrow, I would, more of a joke, take your time. But we're excited to work with you, and I look forward to seeing you in my group calls and having you a part of our community.
This is the funniest comment right here. Bo's going to college. Thank you.
Not allowed to go to college. That's the truth of it, actually. So
he's going to go to entrepreneur college.
I actually have the license plate "No College" on my car. Believe it or not, not a joke.
Ooh, Aaron's getting another shout out. Oh, this is compliment Aaron night tonight. We gotta put this one up here too. Yeah. Jokes aside, Aaron is incredible. Our team is great. Whether you spoke to Nicole, whether you spoke to Aaron or Megan or Jake or Ryan or Jace or Davin or Allie or Isaac or Derek or other Derek or Catherine or Jonathan on our team, we got an incredible team here. If you have spoken to any of those names I just said, shout them out in the comments here.
Yeah, please.
If you've spoken to me, shout me out. I'll take it. Come on now. But our team is great. We work with incredible people here that we really trust to have these conversations with you. We really trust them to have your best interest at heart when going over things and being real with you, but also getting creative. A lot of times people have situations where they just think there's just no way it can be made work. And then you talk to somebody on our team and they're like, well, actually we could make it work. And you're just thinking, you're just saying that right now. But it's like, we have just seen so many people back there, thousands of people, thousands of scenarios at this point where people just get very creative. So there's just a formula for it. And it's just like, it's a puzzle. And a lot of times you try to put this puzzle together on your own, it just takes a long while, but we could figure that out with you quickly. So like lean in on the creativity that our team goes over with you. If it's not a fit, they will genuinely tell you if you don't live in an area that's good enough, or if there's any other things, like if you can only do one shoot a month, but you want to make a 10 grand month, we'll let you know, hey, that's going to be tough. So things like that, just be upfront and honest with them, and they'll help you get creative, and then trust that creativity too, because they've seen so much here at this point that it's just kind of based on that. So I would say like go into the calls with that kind of thought. And if you've already spoken to any of them and you want to revisit things with them, just message the person that invited you to this and say, hey, I want to get creative with things. Let's hop on a call, and then they can go over with you. So that's all I got.
We're here. If you're ready, let's rock. At least chat with us, and we'll hit the ground running with you, and have a great rest of your week. We'll hopefully see you on the inside. See you later.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Cue that epic music. Oh.
Here we go.
Oh, that's the stuff. Thank you.
See you later, everybody. Have a great night.